and it's actually quite violent. But the thing is that a lot of people don't see it like that, and that in and of itself is a privilege.
Wow, I never really thought about the privilege of laughing at something. Wow, I'm going to never do that again.
Wow.
I just want to push back on that a little bit on 2 counts. One is that as an Ashkenazic woman, Ashkenazis are statistically the most self-deprecating. So you're just going to want to maybe like examine that a little bit and unpack that. Also, I think that's kink shaming because the suggestion is that violence is never... basically, it's a erasure of Jews and BDSM participants. It's a erasure of BDSM culture and or Jewish culture, Ashkenazic, not Mizrahi. And of course, I shouldn't say those things like they're mutually exclusive because there's a rich BDSM Ashkenazic culture. So it is basically, I just like want to invite you to interrogate whether you agree with me that it's problematic on those 2 counts. And as a Jewish woman, I can't speak for BDSM. But I can say I'm ambivalent about BDS.
Okay, well...
But that's another issue.
There's a lot to unpack there. I just want to remind you that I'm a lesbian woman from Tasmania, and that basically makes me a white Aboriginal. So I would invite you to check your own privilege. But I will, of course, internalize everything that you've just said.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
That is so beautiful, Hannah. You just really have showed me like a whole new way of like opening to my own growth and like leveling up, I wish that like you could be the president and that I could also get therapy from you. Not to ask you for free emotional labor.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you tracked yourself on that, Kate, because I was about to intervene and disrupt that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're saying you're opening up to your own growth. I feel like I'm growing to my own openings.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been spending this whole summer centering my openings. Yeah.
I've been opening my center.
Yeah.
My chakra. Yeah.
It's
interesting how that works out.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, this conversation, it feels a bit phallic in nature. So I'm gonna skedaddle. If that's all right.
Okay, but Hannah, all right. So let me push back on this by calling
really push back after she said it was phallic. I don't want to penetrate that too deep. Oh, sorry.
Well, I just feel like by
I don't even know. Words are just violent.
By implying that the phallic language is not welcome in this feminist space, aren't we potentially being turfy? Hannah, have you thought about that?
Right? I haven't, and that's really something that I need some perspective on, and I guess I'll have to go read some theory, not the socialist kind, but the good kind.
The misogynist kind.
So I do have a question for you. Given the subject matter of this podcast and your outstanding advocacy for, the LGBT community, for literally every single member of it, where do you fall on having a same-sex relationship with your father? How can we support and celebrate being, as some might more colloquially say, being gay with your dad?
Oh, okay. Being gay with your dad is something that I've never given much thought to, and that's really my own.
Yeah.
That's my privilege. So I want to acknowledge that. But I think ultimately we just have to support each other. That's really all I'm going to say about that.
Wow. That's really beautiful.
I feel like you didn't...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was just really moved by that.
Yeah, that's how I revolutionized stand-up comedy.
I love watching stand-up comedy and crying at the same time. I mean, it's like... If you're not crying, you're not paying attention.
That's right.
I agree. And if you're not paying attention, then you're not crying. So it's like full circle.
It's
I mean, I feel like this is like a little bit ableist towards people with ADHD, but all right.
Well, also it's very like not everyone has tear ducts that are fully functioning.
Not everyone even has eyes.
That's true, and it's actually a myth that you should be laughing during a comedy special. So that's something that we really need to deconstruct, I think, as a society.
Yeah, that. It's like the Founding Fathers mythology and laughing during comedy.
Right.
I mean, are both such toxic mythos.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've just learned so much from you and Lin-Manuel. That's what I like to call him.
Yes, he and I are very much the same in many ways. We are both
Latinx.
Latinx, yes.
Yeah.
And I say that in the broadest sense of the word, but in the sense of the word nonetheless.
Well, like, I mean, I think that English has a lot of Latin roots to it. And I think that, if we just like zoom out, we see that so does, Australian white people are so diverse. I mean, I've never met an Australian white person who isn't like 1,000 different things all together.
That's right.
Like Northern Ireland, a little bit to the south of that part in Northern Ireland, people even from the lands of South Ireland.
Right.
Some people from England. I mean, it's like hard to keep track of the cultural richness and diversity of white Australians.
That's right.
Hannah, okay, I know that this question is going to be like a little triggering, but given this is, the feminist podcast, Cumtown, like, what is your top reason why we should cancel Cum?
Well, I've never interacted with it personally, but I think because it is its trajectory is quite violent. I find its viscosity rather kind of transphobic, I'll say.
Yeah, it's even though it's fluid, it's at the same time its viscosity interrupts its fluidity.
That's right. It clearly exists in a binary world, and I want to abolish binaries. So
I want to abolish cum.
Well, that is within your right.
I want to cum abolition.
That's right.
Cum abolition. I'm a cum abolitionist. Yeah.
No, I want to cum it's different. We can talk about it later. I'm not really ready to talk about it publicly, but you're not picking up what I'm putting down. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay. I just feel like, yeah. Hannah, it has been so amazing to just chat with you about such a really wide-ranging, just like a really wide-ranging,
girth.
Yeah, it's just been like so beautiful. And like, I'm just super glad to hear that, that you are a cum abolitionist, that we're totally on the same page about supporting having same-sex relationships with your father.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, for having me on to talk about cum and, as I've said, revolutionizing stand-up comedy.
Thank you so much.
Stand-up comedy.
All right, you guys. Well, this has just been like such a beautiful experience. I just feel like so grateful to have shared with you both. And, I just like, just like to all of our listeners that are just like out there struggling, with wanting to be in a same-sex relationship with your father, just like go ahead, make the move. Like, just we love you, we accept you, we're here for you.
This is Julia again. I just wanted to say that I took some time for myself over the last few minutes to.
Did you do self-care?
To do self-care, and
radical self-care.
Radical self-care. That's the only kind I choose to practice. Right. And I just want to say, in support of what Kate said regarding being gay with your dad, say yes to life and say yes to love.
I'm really sorry that my cat is yelling. This is actually, he's the male cat and he's toxically masculine. So
Wow.
he's just constantly interrupting me during the podcast. But
he's trying to silence women.
Yeah.
I want to say, like, love trumps hate.
Wow.
Like, at the end of the day.
Wow.
I want to say I'm here. I'm queer. I'm really sorry for all the ways that I have not unpacked my privilege.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we did so much work here today. We did
really,
so much important work.
Emotional labor, unpaid
emotional labor,
which is why we should direct everyone towards the Feminist Cumtown Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This was really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Also, Cash App, Venmo. Thank you so much. Really beautiful.